Hi you guys, back at it with another video. I wanted to talk about my experience during my Rahu Mahadasha. I am about 13 years in my I am 14 years in my Rahu Mahadasha. And for those of you who don't know, Mahadasha is basically a part of Vedic astrology. It basically is like your life is divided into long planetary periods called Mahadashas. And each period is ruled by a specific planet. And it can last anywhere from 6 to 20 years. Because I believe Venus is 20 years long. That's the duration for Venus Mahadasha. But these periods basically shape the themes, lessons, and experiences you go through in your life. So kind of picture it like your soul is a movie, and each Mahadasha is a new director that takes over, changing the plot of your life, the vibe, and the focus. So Rahu Mahadasha is known as one of the most challenging Mahadashas. And Rahu is basically a shadow planet, and he's known for being the headless serpent that represents desire, illusions, ambition, and just basically an unquenchable thirst for wherever he's at in your chart. I have Rahu in my 8th house, which is known to be quite challenging, extremely challenging for most people. And Rahu, he's in an agreeable sign for me, so that part's not as challenging. But where he's located is not a comfortable spot for Rahu. So I've been in this Mahadasha for 14 years, and just wanted to give some of you guys insights of my experiences, what I've learned, and maybe some tips that will help you when you go into this Mahadasha. Now, everyone will not necessarily experience Rahu Mahadasha. You'll have to see where you're at. Some people may not experience this in their current lifetime, or you could have experienced it already in your earlier lifetime, or you probably won't experience it until end of life. It just depends on where you're at, because there are several Mahadashas. So I basically started mine fairly young, but still as an adult. And it has been very interesting. I am not going to give you a book definition and tell you exactly like how the Rahu in my 8th house is supposed to play out. I'm going to tell you how it did manifest into my life. And just my overall experience. So Rahu, what I've learned so far, he is like an energy that's comfortable. He reminds me of like a spirit on a left-hand path. So a left-hand path, I feel like it has its own way of helping you evolve, if you allow it to help you evolve, because you can go in a completely different direction as well, and so you can go in a bad direction if you don't learn the lessons that Rahu or the spirits sometimes on the left-hand path are trying to teach you. So for me, I feel like Rahu does not hold back on the truth. He showed me my true colors, who I really am, whether I want to accept it or not. Made me become accountable for my actions and the people that I allowed into my life. Rahu kept pushing me to see the downsides or the negatives or blockages in my life. I couldn't just bypass it. I couldn't just ignore it. This is like with family, friends, and even my own personal habits. I would try to pretend like I didn't see something, pretend like I didn't hear something, pretend like something didn't make me uncomfortable. And Rahu will keep pushing me back into these scenarios and keep bringing me more people who are like the people in my life at the time who weren't the best, until I learned my lesson and realized that I need to like respect myself and embody that self-love energy and see people for who and what they are. Take off those rose-colored glasses and see the world, the harsh realities of life. With Rahu in my 8th house, I've always been gifted. And what I mean by that, I've always been able to see things in the future, which is called a seer. But I would say a lot of my spiritual abilities took off during my Rahu Mahadasha. So I have all the clairs that you can think of, and I also have psychic mediumship. And I am phenomenal when it comes to oracle cards and tarot. Like, I'm really good at doing psychic work. The old me wouldn't even entertain this path. I always knew I was gifted, but I tried to avoid it. I tried to ignore it or pretend like it just wasn't a big deal, or maybe it was something dark and I shouldn't entertain it. Rahu's like, yeah, no. So you're gifted and you actually have a bunch of other gifts. Let's discover them together. And he will literally push me, like he pushed me into a spiritual awakening. And started giving me visions of things that will happen into other people's lives. And they will actually manifest. Warned me of danger. So I saw some good stuff, but I saw a lot of negative things too that I should prepare for or brace myself for. But Rahu really pushed me to accept who I am in his own left-hand pathway. So I was forced to accept that, yeah, I am someone who's very gifted and I shouldn't be ashamed of it. And I used to be so ashamed of it. And not only that, during his Rahu Mahadasha, I became obsessed, and I still am obsessed, with the occult, with the mysticism, spirituality, understanding religion more, and also communicating with the other side. When I say obsessed, I am so obsessed with this area, I would desire it more than food and water. There is nothing in this world that can bring me more joy than the occult or mysticism or spirituality or communicating with the other side. When I have free time, this is all I do. When I'm at home, this is all I do. It is an obsession and I can't get enough of it. And that is what Rahu is all about. So if you look at your chart and you see where Rahu's at, and you know when you're going to run your Rahu Mahadasha, just know what you're going to be fixated on. Rahu has taught me to lean on my 8th house to help me navigate in life. And I notice when I try to try to face challenges and obstacles during his Mahadasha, but ignoring my Rahu, ignoring my 8th house, that's when life became so insanely difficult. And now I love my Rahu in the 8th house. I know everyone says it's most challenging. And I think it's challenging if you try to deny that part of you. If you try to deny that you don't have that Rahu energy, if you are shameful or just have shame of that energy, you're in denial and just think it's completely dark. There are dark aspects to it, but when you accept that you're negative and positive, you accept your polarities, you accept all of your gifts and talents and decide that how you're going to walk in life with those energies. And I'm choosing to be, I feel like I'm an honorable person who loves myself and is very respectful to others. But I know how to walk with those energies now. So it's all about your perspective at the end of the day. And if you flow with these energies, it's not going to be as difficult. Now, don't get it twisted. Rahu Mahadasha is no joke. Like, my life has made a 180. I'm just going to keep it a buck. I've had some very interesting experiences. But I will say that once I incorporated like manifestation, law of attraction, mysticism, spirituality, listening to my ancestors, listening to the spirits on the other side that have my best interests, is when I had an understanding of where I'm at in life, the why behind it, and the lesson that I'm supposed to integrate. Like, what am I supposed to learn from this situation? When I learned to flow with Rahu and the other dasha, the interdasha that I'm running, life, I wouldn't say it's easier, but it's not as difficult to navigate. Now, my Rahu, people say Rahu and Ketu would be the most difficult dasha you can go through. And mind you guys, I have Rahu in the 8th house, right? So I'm supposed to be miserable and life is supposed to be living hell during Rahu Ketu. That was not the case for me. Rahu Ketu could have been one of the most magical, exciting times of my life. I had my Kundalini awakening. I met a soul mirror of mine. My communication on the other side was off the charts. Astral traveling, walking with ancestors and other spirits who I didn't even really know, but they were educating me on spirituality, and they continue to do so. I learned how to, I created my own spiritual system. And what I mean is I have my own way of how I work with divine intelligence. And I truly believe it will be a game changer for a lot of people if I were to write a book. I even was in a lovey-dovey energy, and just every area of my life was getting better. But it was because I was embodying that Rahu energy and manifesting my reality. What do I want to experience? How can I change my situation for the better? What angel should I work with? What spirit should I work with? What lessons did I receive? Because I'm a seer, I have visions. So what lessons did I learn in that state that I can now implement into my waking life? It was really a good time. I'm not going to lie. I manifested so many things. Money, a position that I wanted. I manifested certain people into my life. I was in a lovey-dovey energy, like I said earlier. I was in my soft life era. Even though I still had a job, but I felt like I was literally living a soft life. And that can be Rahu, right? Because Rahu is known for ups and downs materially, and when it comes to money and stuff like that. So this is just me trying to share that. Be careful what you hear in mainstream media or on social media about Rahu. A lot of it is true, but it's all about perspective, and it's all about how you flow with that energy. And again, Rahu in the 8th house is supposed to be terrible, very harsh. And I'm not going to lie, my life has been very challenging overall. But this particular Mahadasha has been full of ups and downs, absolutely. But I find that when I work with my 8th house energy and I flow with Rahu, he leads me to a better outcome, a better situation. And I stop trying to control things. I stop trying to control an outcome. If Rahu is trying to show you that someone's not good for you in your life, and he's going to have his own way of how he reveals that information to you, I'm not going to go out of my way and try to force that friendship to work out, or that marriage, or whatever that dynamic is. I am going to allow Rahu to show me what's going on. And okay, I'm going to flow. This is not what I want for myself. This is not aligned with who I am as a person. I am going to allow that relationship to fall away. And when I do, I get elevated. So Rahu has definitely humbled me as well. He has hit all areas of my life when it comes to finances, relationships, my career path, like every area has had its extreme like up and down. But again, when I get into that zone of manifesting and my mysticism and studying the occult and practicing it, is like things begin to fall into place. But when I deny my 8th house is when Rahu whips you, and it's just so hard. So my advice to anyone who's going through that Rahu Mahadasha, just know you're going to go through ups and downs, but study where your Rahu is at in your chart and learn how to work with that energy. And you just never know what can happen. And again, Rahu Ketu was supposed to be my worst dasha, and it turned out to be one of the best ones I've had so far. Right now, I'm running my Rahu Venus. It's been interesting. I still just like study a lot, and I'm working on my businesses, but it's not as like eventful. I'm going through a lot of transition and transformation, and I've been focused a lot on like love relationships, but I'm not like dating or nothing like that. I'm just like seeing people for who and what they are, and focusing in my love when it comes to like my business, my passions and stuff like that. So Rahu Venus has been interesting. I still have 2 more years left in this dasha, but I went through my Rahu, and that was okay. Like, it was really cool. I had some very intense spiritual experiences around that time. Rahu Jupiter, I was dating a lot of very well-off men. And then my Rahu Saturn was crazy. That's when I had my Saturn return. My father passed away. I got into 2 car accidents. I had spirits start coming towards me, telling me what my spiritual name is and telling me about my gifts. And I had so much spiritual contact around that time. I left an old career that I had for 15 years and went into a new industry. And then I ended up taking a sabbatical. So Saturn did reward me. I took a 1.5 year sabbatical from work, which was nice. And thanks to my ancestors in Rahu, in Source, in God, I was able to live comfortably during that sabbatical. The most challenging Rahu Antardasha that I've experienced would be the Rahu Mercury. That was rough for me, very rough. And then Rahu Ketu was the most spiritual and material rewarding for me. So again, I'm 14 years in my Rahu Mahadasha, and just thought I would share my experience and just give you guys a different perspective about Rahu. He has taught me a lot, and he doesn't sugarcoat anything. He will push you into your purpose, push you into your talents, and he has his own way of doing it. It's not a lovey-dovey, love and light way, but he will if you work with him, he will get you to where you want to be. So for me personally, I love having Rahu in my 8th house. I respect that energy, and I appreciate it. I feel like it has made me become a stronger human. It has brought me closer to God or the universe. It has brought me closer to my ancestors and spirits that have my best interest. And he has removed illusions about this planet for me. I see the world and still learning what this world is really all about, and not lose myself in this reality that I live in. And just learning more about my 8th house placement. So, all right, that is all. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out.